Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the single most dangerous weapon in the existence of the known universe in anime. Yeah, seriously, you got your guns, you got your cannons, you got your missiles, you got your A-bombs and your H-bombs and your Z-bombs. It's like a bomb, but with zombies. You know, you got this, you got your katana, that's all you need. You know, go ask Zoro, go ask Rurouni Kenshin, go ask Inuyasha, go ask pretty much anybody in Bleach, and go ask Atomic Samurai, ranked 4 S-Class hero in the Hero Association. You want to know how badass Atomic Samurai is? He also has the title of the greatest backup hero in the Hero Association. Yeah, that's right. The guy that is probably the most adept at using a sword in the entire world that can slice an opponent up and, like, you know, divide by 1,000, here you go. That guy is the greatest backup hero of the Hero Association. I don't really know if you should take that as a compliment or an insult, if the way that, you know, AS takes that, you know? It's like, well, you know, the Hero Association is this huge, huge thing. It's got all these heroes in it, and the S-Class heroes are so powerful and everything like that. I'm honored to feel like I am the greatest backup hero, or, like, what are you talking about? You know, can anybody else swing a sword like this? And then he just shings the sword at, like, the speed of sound, or beyond the speed of sound, as we're going to get to in a second here. And he's like, come on, you saying Bang can take me on like that? Or Tatsumaki? Okay, Tatsumaki probably could. Tatsumaki could just kind of, like, snap her fingers and just rip the sword right out of Atomic Samurai's arms, and then you got a problem after that. But, you know, the thing with Bang is, you know, it brings into question because, you know, with the sword, it's debatable how Atomic Samurai could fare against Bang, although Bang has way more experience at martial arts, so who knows? He might be able to actually see the sword swings coming, even though they're moving ridiculously fast. He might be able to dodge it, and maybe he might be able to use his martial arts to, like, knock the sword out of his hand or something. But without the sword, there's no contest. Bang would definitely win. Probably would never happen, though, because Atomic Samurai and Bang, they have a very good relationship. Kind of like along the lines of, like, you know, you're doing something different than I. You know, I follow the way of the sword, you know, I follow the way of the warrior, Bushido, and I'm a samurai and everything, and you're teaching a martial arts, you know, that's a different kind of school, but I still appreciate, and I'm kind of very impressed of what you're doing. I have a lot of respect for you. But, yeah, so Atomic Samurai and Bang kind of get along on that kind of line. They don't really see them fighting anytime soon. Now, I thought there was going to be more to talk about with him than really there was, because going back just through his fight roster and everything like that, you know, he's been in a few fights, but not that many, and I thought he did way more in the Monster Association arc than he really did. I had to go back and look at everything, and I'm just like, he really didn't do all that much. He pretty much got beat down almost right away by Black Sperm, who everyone giggles when I say that name, and in case you haven't read the webcomic, by the way, I don't know why you would be watching this video, because I put the disclaimer at the beginning, but if you haven't read it, it's like, yeah, there's a character named Black Sperm, and don't laugh, because he is incredibly OP. He's a dragon-level threat that can divide his body literally trillions of times over. Yes, I said trillions with the frickin' T, okay? So don't laugh. I mean, yeah, you could still laugh. It's a pretty weird name, but it makes sense, okay? But yeah, after getting beat down by Black Sperm, I think he participates in the battle with Garo, but he doesn't really contribute much more than anybody else does. Garo pretty much took out all the other heroes, you know, like Flashy Flash and Tatsumaki and Bang. Like, they didn't really have anything to go on against Garo there. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Okay, so the thing about Atomic Samurai is he is, of course, the best swordsman in the world of One Punch Man. There's no one greater at the blade than he is. He also has 3 disciples that are also equally pretty good at using the sword. Now, all of his disciples are positioned in the higher echelons of the A-class heroes. So remember that the A-class rank 1 hero is a My Mask, you know, handsomely masked Sweet Mask or whatever. Now, the reason that he stays at A rank 1, and he doesn't move up to S-class, because he could easily. He easily has S-class strength, is because he's trying to protect that spot from anybody else coming up, because he's kind of a bastard, you know, that's what he does. He's like, I won't let anybody enter S-class, because, you know, I'm gonna keep the A-class rank 1 position, because I can't let any of you losers rank up, to protect it, you know, because, like, to save the face of the Hero Association. Well, likewise, just like a My Mask has S-class strength, so does A rank 2, 3, and 4, and those are the 3 disciples of Atomic Samurai. So you have A rank 2, EI Iron, and then you have A rank 3, Okamatachi, and then you have A rank 4, Bushi Drill. And their names and designs are all kind of based off of, like, different kind of, like, portmanteaus with a sword style or something relating to, like, samurais, and then, like, something else. So, like, for example, EI Iron is a combination of iron and Iaido. So Iaido is that sword style where you, like, draw your sword, cut down your opponent, like, draw your sword, attack, and then draw your sword, and, like, sheath your sword again really quick. You know, so that's Iaido. And then you have Okamatachi, so I think anybody reading One Piece will know what an Okama is. He's a cross-dresser. He's a guy that's dressing like a woman. And Kamatachi is like an air sickle, air blade, you know, cutting the air so fast it actually leaves like a shockwave and stuff like that, which is how, you know, he fights. And then you have rank 4 Bushi Drill, which is a combination of Bushido, you know, the way of the sword, and then Drill, which is, we don't really see how he fights all that much, but, you know, he maybe uses that, you know, combination of, like, his sword to, like, you know, a spin attack or something along those lines. So, yeah, those are the disciples of Atomic Samurai, and they are almost always seen together, you know, wandering around. They're very respectful to their master. Atomic Samurai's actual name is Kamikaze, which also has multiple meanings. Kamikaze could mean, well, I think the most common way that you'll interpret kamikaze is the way that, like, the suicide bombers during World War II, you know, like the fighter pilots in World War II, they were Japanese, and they would, you know, literally dive bomb and, you know, kill themselves, you know, along with the plane in order to deal damage to whatever they were attacking, the kamikaze. It can also be translated as kami, god, and then kaze, wind, or like god wind, divine wind, something like that, heavenly wind. So, you know, once again, your name is Atomic Samurai, you have a name like Kamikaze, your name's just straight up Kamikaze, heavenly wind, and one of your attacks, you know, you don't really need, not really attacks, more like attacks, singular. Your attack is called Atomic Slash, where you just swing your sword so goddamn fast that beyond the speed of sound, no one can really see what's happening, and then by the time that the attack is over, your opponent is cut into freaking fish bait. Not quite on the level of, like, atomic structures, because, you know, you're splitting atoms and stuff, it would be a lot more damaging. Like, you attack your opponent, there would literally be nothing left if you were, like, slicing them apart at the atomic level. But needless to say, hundreds of parts, hundreds of pieces, thousands of pieces, you know, it's just, you're gone. You're fish bait. You're jelly after he lands that attack, you know. But he's also a little bit arrogant with his skills, you know. You're you know, maybe not so much arrogant considering he's the greatest backup hero, but, you know, also greatest swordsman in the world. You're maybe going to have a little bit of arrogance with that. I think we see this arrogance at first when he meets Saitama. You know, he meets Saitama, and, you know, I think, you know, Bang had at least a little bit of a way to interpret, like, Saitama was really strong. Like, he could sense a little bit of Saitama's strength. Atomic Samurai had none of that. Even though he's still very skilled in combat and everything, in the way of the sword and everything, and he's trained his body to some insane degrees and everything, he couldn't really sense anything from Saitama. In fact, Saitama went to go shake his hand, and Atomic Samurai just kind of thwacked it away, and he's like, I only acknowledge the strong. So yeah, kind of arrogant like that. I'm not even gonna shake your hand because you're not, I don't acknowledge you as strong, even though we just met and I have no idea how strong you are, you know, and if I had the ability to sense, you know, how strong you were, like kind of Bang does and like some of the other heroes do, I would obviously be able to tell right away. Like Boros, there was no question with Boros. You know, as soon as Saitama broke in, well, he also knocked in, like, a giant door that was the size of a skyscraper, but as soon as appearing in the throne room, Boros was like, okay, this guy is strong right here. I can sense no limit to his energy. Atomic Samurai didn't have that. And also, another way he's a little bit arrogant is, later on when he was fighting against Black Sperm in the Monster Association, you know, he cuts him up and he just divides more, because that's what his power is. That's what Black Sperm does, you know? And Black Sperm keeps telling him, like, look, if you keep it, it's not gonna work, buddy. You can keep attacking me, I'm just gonna reproduce more and more and more. And so Atomic Samurai was just like, I've dealt with you people before, I'll just have to keep cutting you up enough times. So it's just like, Atomic Slash! Atomic Slash! Atomic, and he ends up getting his ass kicked because he keeps making, they're multiplying by the thousands every time he does this. And he literally has, once again, trillions of himself in the tank. you know? So, yeah, maybe a little bit there you're not paying attention. I would say after 3 good atomic slashes and he's still multiplying, maybe you want to back off a bit, you know? So he gets beaten down by him there. But that doesn't mean he's weak by any metric. It's just Black Sperm was a really difficult monster to deal with, dragon-level threat. Even Tatsumaki had problems with him. So, I mean, that's not really much of a benchmark. But from what we've seen when he fought against Mesoguard, which was really like one of the only real fights that we've gotten to see him in, there was also the fight with Hadagiri, which we'll get to in a second. Not really much of a fight there. But when fighting against Mesoguard, we really get to see the full extent of, you know, his swordsmanship. You know, Mesoguard has basically the ability to, like, free-form his body, and he's making all these spikes and blades into his arm, and he's attacking him, and he's much bigger than Atomic Samurai is, and he's just pulling out the sword, and he's just slashing and dicing him, having no problems. And probably one of the most amazing scenes is when, after Mesoguard, you know, he knocks Bang into a wall, and then he's fighting Atomic Samurai for a little bit, and then Bang comes back, you know, shirtless and ripped and badass, and he's like, oh, I need some more full-body exercises. Mesoguard looks over, and he's like, oh, you live, and he gets cut off. Because you know what you just did, Mesoguard. You just turned away when fighting Atomic Samurai. That's not gonna fly, homie, you know? So you just see this scene where his eyes are, like, gleaming red of pure bloodlust and just like, hey, you forget about something? Atomic slash! Bam! And, you know, he starts to reform, and that's when Bang shows up and then rips out his head and the marble and crushes it. But, yeah. That was probably, like, his shining moment there. We really seen what he could do. And in terms of the anime, that was pretty much it, man. I mean, that was all we got from him in the anime. Now, in the manga, you know, in the Murata comic, Murata? I don't know. Anyway, in the comic, in the manga at the moment, you see him meeting with a kind of like a group of other great swordsmen, like these fabled sword masters all over the world are meeting together in like a very traditional, like, you know, samurai style. It's out in the woods, you got like a Japanese building, they're drinking sake. Oh, by the way, just to mention really quick, like this samurai aesthetic, you know, they're really going all the 9 yard here with that. Like, you know, he's wearing the outfit, and he also has, I don't know if you've noticed, because he's only really used the one sword, the katana, he also has another sword on him. He has a smaller sword, like a wakizashi kind of thing. And that actually makes a lot of sense, because samurai had this this style where they would wear, you know, a katana and a wakizashi, and that was known as daisho, literally meaning like big, small, or small, big, or one of the combinations of that. And that was the general impression that you get there, you know? So he hasn't really used his smaller sword yet. Even if he doesn't use it, that's just like the aesthetic of being a samurai and what he embodies. And, you know, just going with the naming scheme that he has, you know, Kamikaze, and then later on you get another sword master that he's meeting, Hadagiri, which means belly cut, and Harigiri is like a way that you would commit suicide. They have this meeting where they're trying to figure out a way to deal with Garo, because Garo is the hero hunter going around slaughtering all these heroes, and also he's Bang's disciple, and Atomic Samurai is good friends with Bang, and he wants to kind of help him out here, so he's trying to get all these top swordsmen together to help him out, and Harigiri's there, and he reveals that he became a monster. He went through the monsterification ritual, he has the cells, and he presents them to the other sword masters, and he's like, you know, eat them or I kill you, and he pulls out, like, his demon form, he goes all demonic, and he has his sword with him, and he states that before I turned into a monster, I was able to draw my sword at the speed of sound. Now I'm a monster. I'm even faster than that. And literally, in the time that he goes to pull out his sword, is like, he gave Atomic Samurai 3 seconds. He's like, 3 seconds, eat those things or you're all dead. 1, 2, and then Atomic Samurai, he had his sword at his side. He had his sword at his side. He didn't even have it on him. You know, Harigiri has it. He's ready to go. Atomic Samurai off to the side. You know, 1, 2, dead. Just like the second upon even grabbing it, he atomic slashes him out of existence. That's how fast his sword drawing abilities are. So yeah, don't mess with him. Unless your name is Black Sperm. But yeah, that's just a little bit that we get so far. That actually wasn't in the webcomic at all. I'm glad Murata added it so that we get to see just truly his true skill with a sword and everything like that. So I hope that when we get to the Monster Association, that's where they're heading right now. Atomic Samurai and his 3 disciples, they're heading to the association. I hope that we get to see a little bit more of an elaborate battle with him and Black Sperm, or maybe we get to see a battle with him and some other fodder monsters or something, because we need to see that. After we saw how badass he was with the sword, it would really kind of suck to get him cut down so quickly, and everything like that. I hope he gets more screen time during the Monster Association. After the whole Monster Association arc, he decides to maybe quit the association, because he doesn't know really what to do, because there's a lot of these other hero association, like the Neo heroes, like the new people popping up that are going to be better and greater than the Hero Association because they failed before, and Atomic Samurai doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know if he wants to resign yet. Eventually, he decides to go meet King. He wants to see the strongest hero in the Hero Association and, like, test his mettle and see what he's lacking and everything as a hero. So he goes and meets King. Now, of course, the thing about King, we're going to get to him eventually. The thing about King is that he just has an inordinate amount of luck. That's his superpower, is luck. You know? So he meets him, and Atomic Samurai wants to have a battle with him. He's, like, starting shit right away. And King has to, like, well, it's the second Tuesday of the month, which means that the air molecules are less dense. And if you start a fight with me now, a bunch of innocent civilians are gonna die. And just this nonsense, but Atomic Samurai's like, okay, I believe you. And then Atomic Samurai takes out an apple, and he's like, I want you to cut this apple with this sword. And King is like, why? He's like, well, because I can tell based on how a person cuts an apple, what they've been through, their experience. So I guess Atomic Samurai should have, when he met Saitama, I guess he should have given Saitama the apple and have him cut it, you know, because then he would be able to determine if he was strong or not. But I guess he didn't feel like he was even worthy of the apple test. But anyway, he gives the apple to King, gives him the sword. King takes it. Now King can't even unsheath the sword. It's too jammed in there. He's not strong enough to even. So there's this awkward moment where King is sitting there, just like, Atomic Samurai's just sitting there on the opposite side watching him like, and then finally King just sets the thing down and just walks away. Because he's like, 2 minutes of this, I'm like, I don't know what else to do, my arms are getting tired. He just gets up and walks away. Now you think like Atomic Samurai would recognize, like, at that moment, because he's such a gifted, he's so skilled and everything like that, he could see everything, the apple, you know, he would be like, King's a freaking fraud. But instead, he takes it the exact opposite way, and like, he cut the apple so fast and so precisely. He passed right through the very molecular structure. The apple doesn't even know it's been cut yet. That's what I love about this series, man. It's just shit like that is great. You know, it's King's luck is his superpower, and you have Atomic Samurai who's sitting there like supposed to be this amazingly badass samurai, and he is. But he sees that, and he's just like, I need to get stronger now. I need to perfect my atomic slash even further. You know, so that was great. So maybe a little bit of ignorance there, a little bit of an arrogance about him. But he is a very good teacher. You know, EI Iron, that's the only one that we've really seen so much of in the recent story. Okamatachi and Bushi Drill, we get to see something from them in the web comic. But as terms like the manga and the anime, EI Iron is like the only one we see. He fights against Mesoguard. He actually does a decent job for a while, considering Mesoguard is this... was Mesoguard a dragon? I want to say he is. Because Mesoguard was really strong. I mean, yeah, it's hard to kill him, and there was like 5 or 6 S-class heroes, you know, banging at him. You know, not just Bang, but like all the other ones. So, he might have been Dragon. But anyway, yeah, Mesoguard, he fought one-on-one against Mesoguard. He held his ground for a little while with like one arm. Because he shows up, he dodges one of Mesoguard's attacks, and in the very next attack, he loses an arm. But then still manages to fend him off a little bit, like cut him in half a few times, because Mesoguard can regenerate, before Atomic Samurai and all the other S-class heroes showed up. But still, that was pretty impressive. Okamatachi, as the name implies, can shoot like wind blades, and then you have Bushi Drill, which probably has some sort of like, you know, like katana drill attack. I don't know. But Yeah. So that's pretty much everything we have about Atomic Samurai. I hope to see more from him. I hope we get some more additional stuff in the Monster Association. It doesn't just cut to him getting beat the crap out of by Black Sperm. Maybe we get to see some more scenes with him, maybe fighting Garo at least a little bit longer. Maybe a new perfected Atomic Slash after his dealing was with King, you know, later on. And if he's going to leave the Hero Association, what do you guys think? How do you think that's gonna shake down there? If he's gonna stay or, you know, join the Nero Heroes or anything like that, or figure something out there. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And next video, you might think it's Child Emperor. No, it's gonna be King. It's my video series. I can do whatever I want. Next video's King. Probably Metal Bat after that. Gotta do it in an order to keep you on your toes. Ooh, who's Tekking gonna do next? Yeah. Ooh. Alright. Later, guys. Signing out.